Then I'll get out.
Okay, so are we ready, JT?
A couple of seconds. Give you the go. Okay, we're good.
All right, thank you. The December regular meeting of the Public Defender Service Corporation is now called to order, and I am going to ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Chief Justice F. Philip Carbolito,
I am present and I am logged on from the Guam Judicial Center in Aganya.
Presiding Judge Alberto C. Lamarana III,
I am here and I'm at the Guam Judicial Center.
Trustee Cynthia V. Acubi,
I think she's on mute.
She's on mute.
Trustee Acubi, I think you're on mute.
Oh, she was out. Accidentally left the meeting.
Yeah, she dropped off. She was probably disconnected. So she's coming back in.
Trustee Cynthia V. Acubi,
You on mute?
I'm present here in Aganya in my law office. Thank you.
Trustee Donna Muñoz Canata,
I'm present here at my place of employment, Guam Auto Spot, East Aganya.
Guam Bar President Jackie T. Terlahi,
Yeah, Attorney Terlahi is excused. She notified the secretary in advance that she will not be able to make the meeting. So secretary has ascertained that we have a quorum and we are able to conduct our regular business of today. And the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of November 24th, 2020. Is there a motion to adopt?
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes subject to correction.
I'll second it, Your Honors, and Trustee Kanata.
All right, so the minutes, the approval of the minutes have been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the minutes? There being none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the minutes are unanimously adopted. First order of business under all business is the financial status update and the allotment releases, and I will recognize Mr. Mike Moreno.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good afternoon to all board trustee members. As of today, for Public Defender Service Corporation and alternate public defender, we have just received a vendor EFT statement, which is a deposit request to our account from Department of Administration this morning for the allotment of 12/21/2020, which brings Public Defender Service Corporation at 91% and APD at 92%. For the domestic violence program, we are still waiting for an approval from BBMR for STOP program 2019. Once this is approved, the DVP will be funded until March 2021. And we have been in contact with the governor's office regarding the approval of STOP 2019, and they have said that we can anticipate receiving the funding approval by next week. And that is all for the financial portion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moreno. Any questions for the finance controller? There being none, the next order of business is the report from our executive director, Mr. Hattori. You are recognized.
Thank you, Chief Justice. Okay, Merry Christmas, everybody. We have some really great news. The governor actually signed the contract for the Elder Justice Center. Kathy Moylan hopefully will get in on here and talk about that. So that's something that we're hoping to kick off by February 1st. It was signed sometime last week, and I think we have a kickoff meeting with them next week, Tuesday. So that's really good news. And, you know, I think that's going to help. Obviously, we weren't funded 100% by the legislature, so we'll be using some of that grant money to offset the cost of some employees here as they do the work, you know, if they have to do some work over there. The other thing is we recently hired Brian Eggleston. He was sworn in, so he's the newest sworn in Guam Bar member. And so we're going to be having him cover magistrates and arraignments until we get him into a courtroom. He's also going to be helping John Morrison with the quarantine cases. Apparently, the quarantine cases are basically being heard pretty much every day. I don't know how many petitions or motions John's filed. Maybe you could update us, but it's turned out to be quite a bit of work, and but he's making very good law on it. I'm in a board meeting. Okay. And basically that's about it.
All right. John, do you want to add anything in reference to Tori's statement?
Well, I'd just say, we were appointed by Judge Melissa Iriarte to represent incoming passengers on these cases that are subject to a forced governmental quarantine. We were appointed for basically every person that touches down that wants an attorney as of September. And there have been many people that fit into that category, whether or not we ended up filing a petition for them or not. I would say that I'm hopeful that it's once in a lifetime litigation, that nobody ever lives through another pandemic like this or suffers through another pandemic like this. But at the same time, it's been quite rewarding, and we're able to get into court quickly on those cases. And right at this point, I don't know how many of these had to file a petition on. I'm going to have to go through everything when sort of the smoke or dust settles, but it's been regular. At least a couple of times a week we're in court for individual passengers, and there was one case that we tried that was a contested hearing. I was fortunate to be co-counsel with bar president and trustee Terlahi on that matter, but that ended up being about a 3-week litigation. So it's been exciting.
Yeah, and so along those lines, I mean, we really haven't made a full accounting of the cost of representing everybody, but I think it's worth trying to put something together and seeing if we could make a request to get some kind of compensation from the CARES Act money if that's available. So, but we'll work on that, John. Try to get a accounting of costs. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? If they say no, they say no, but at least we tried to recoup some of the cost involved.
Steve, what about the processing of the cases? I know you have a report here that indicates numbers in various categories, but are cases being pushed forward in reference to trying to get resolution of the outstanding cases that the Public Defender Corporation has?
Okay, so we did. I mean, I think we presented those stats at the last board meeting. It seems like a lot of the cases are moving forward now. So we're in appropriate cases we are waiving grand jury. It helps if the government conditions an offer on pleading to an information, because then we would need time to talk to our clients, and then we could grant an extension of the preliminary hearing date for that. So, I mean, I know we're actively working with the government and trying to minimize the impact of grand jury on the court. And then as far as I know there have been some jury selections going on. I haven't heard of that we're having problems resolving, our cases.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Hattori?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have one question. In the media, you mentioned that you had difficult access to your clients at BOC. Has that been rectified?
Well, so I did speak with Director Joe Carbolito this morning, and he says he's going to try to work with us on it. The problem is they're forcing clients to call us using PayTel. So some clients obviously don't have PayTel, but also they're all indigent, so they shouldn't have to pay for the call to call their lawyer. So we are working with them. We've offered solutions since February where we said, if you give us internet, or even let us bring our own internet, we could put up video platforms that are really cheap and effective. I mean, if we had internet there, we could use Facebook portals, which we're using for change of pleas outside of our building. They have noise canceling microphones, so you can't even hear the traffic and the wind. And so if we're able to get internet access up to DepCore, from DepCore, then we could, we have 3 or 4 we could just move over tomorrow. The problem is, getting DepCore to come to the table. So when I spoke with Joe Carbolito, he said he's gonna work with us, and they also had a walkthrough yesterday trying to upgrade their internet. The problem is, as the court's aware, right, you need a high upload speed to be able to have your video feed and audio feed connect, right? So they're working on that problem as well. But we are working with them on it.
So do you have like a tentative date that you can make some sort of accomplishment as far as
Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna meet with them tomorrow, I think at 3:30. So we're gonna have a Zoom meeting with him, Anton Uggen. Hopefully John could jump in, and then we'll come up with solutions.
Okay, because I'm concerned that your clients are not able to converse with their attorneys, and
Yeah.
that's and cases cannot move until you discuss legal advice. You give legal advice and strategy with your clients. And I'm sure that would delay cases. Huh?
No, I totally understand. And so I mean, I think with the clients that are confined, that's the one we're having difficulty with. If they're released, then obviously they could come into the office and we're meeting with them. So we're hoping that meeting with Director Carbolito will bear fruit. I know he has a couple OSCs pending, so he's really eager to come up with a solution. And so we're going to work with him.
Yeah, can you keep us updated on that? Because
No.
judges are really concerned.
Oh, no, yeah, I understand. We'll do
Mr.
that,
Chairman,
Your Honor.
provide a little bit more information on that issue as well.
Yes, please. Go ahead, John.
So, PJ, also, there's a order to show cause hearing set for Christmas Eve at 3. So we're trying to cover it from a number of angles, and we'll see how DOC accounts for our inability to talk to our clients to prepare them for arraignments and the like.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get access to their Zoom platform at least on Saturdays. And so, I mean, some attorneys, if they have to, they'll come work Saturdays. I know APD's been doing that, but it's been hit or miss from other attorneys I've talked to. But we're trying to get there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Please continue to keep us updated. And, the person that worked with DOC here at the judiciary in reference to virtual platform for the judiciary is Alicia Lenciaco. So if you need some type of assistance, please reach out to her. Direct communication with the administrators at DOC. And they are trying to improve their platform, their virtual platform, and I'm advised that is proceeding forward. So just keep us updated.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so now we will then switch to the managing attorney of the alternate public defender, Attorney Annie Gale.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Merry Christmas to everybody. To add on to what Mr. Hattori and Mr. Morrison was saying, as far as APD is concerned regarding meeting with clients on Zoom or through telephonic, through the phone, we have been issuing issues. We are working through them. I've had a couple of Zoom meetings canceled simply because DOC couldn't accommodate us on the weekend. So we're still working through that. I will probably ask Steve to be invited to that Zoom meeting tomorrow with DOC. As far as anything else, we have in our office, we do have some trials that we've already started picking the juries for in front of Judge Barcinas, and we've used the Academy cafeteria to do so. We did provide our stats there on page 14 of the board packet. These are from numbers from October 2019 to September 30th, 2020. You can see where the numbers have picked up a little bit for us, and we have pretrial status as well as a grand total for all cases. If you have any questions, we can answer them, but this is what we have gotten so far.
And just a correction on page 14, it's these are just the cases open in fiscal year 2020, Your Honors.
Okay.
Does that include your bench warrants?
Yep.
Yes, Mr. Director, yes.
Oh, okay. So there, because how come you have 77 bench warrants under former if they were just opened in 2020?
That's total.
I'm sorry, I can't remember.
All right, anything else?
Can you hear me?
Sorry, where there was some
384 is the final number for fiscal year 2020 on that bottom total number there. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't have anything else.
All right, any questions for our managing attorney? All right, there being none, we'll move to the next item on the agenda, and that is the Elder Justice Center, our seniors program. And we have Charlene. If you could just give us a status, and we do see in the agenda the good news that that is finally signed, and we've gotten that program off the ground, and we look forward to it bringing good results. So Charlene, you are recognized.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. We too are very excited. It was a very much awaited activity since back in July when we were notified with the Board of Trustees approval. And then we went into preparing the document and the routing of the document. On December 11th, the governor has signed. We had submitted a notice to proceed to Public Defender Services Corporation on the 18th. We've already received a confirmation with a launch meeting with PDSC on the 29th, I believe is what we have planned the following Tuesday. So we are very excited. We're excited for the seniors who've been on the wait list to be able to have legal assistance, of course, in keeping with what was requested, which are those that are at or below poverty. I also just want to bring to everyone's attention that we also are receiving calls from our mayors with their constituents who are out and seeking and asking in terms of inquiries. We are informing them that our priority will be those first on the wait list as we work with PDSC to launch this. So that's where we're at. We're just grateful where we're at right now. We look forward to the meeting.
Thank you. Steve, you want to add anything to Charlene's comments?
No, I mean, I guess we'll have more information after the kickoff meeting, but we really, hopefully our time frame will be February 1st. And of course, number one, I really want to thank the board for taking a chance and giving us this opportunity to help our Monomco. And, you know, I can assure you we're going to make this thing successful. And so thank you for taking that chance on us.
So what is the staffing plan? Have their lawyers already been hired who will be providing the legal service in this program?
Well, so right now, we, I guess, sent notice out to the Guam Bar asking for interest at the rate of $90 an hour. Guam Legal Services has already indicated that they're interested, but we don't know if anyone else would also like to be interested at that amount. and then we're gonna have Kathleen Moylan, who's online here. She's gonna get it up and running as our she's our PC4, and so we can use the grant. Hopefully, I don't know if it's clear yet, but we're hoping to use the grant to fund her until we know whether or not the position is gonna the program's gonna be permanent. I think we're gonna really have difficulty finding an employee who's willing to take it for a 6-month period. So if we could find someone, we'll find someone, but we want to get it up and running, and I believe Kathy Moylan would really put us in the best position to make it successful early on. So we're hoping to, I don't know if I'm hoping we can use the grant to pay for her salary while she works on that program until we find a full-time special projects coordinator.
In reference to the lawyers, I'm a little confused. What do you mean $90 an hour? I didn't know that we were going to contract legal services to the private bar.
Well,
I thought that the intent was to hire full-time lawyers to staff this program.
That's correct. We're only going to use that for conflicts, and they're going to handle up to about 10 cases a month, while our Elder Justice Center will handle about 40. So we're hoping to do 50 a month altogether.
So is there any plan to try and recruit lawyers full-time to work on the program?
Yeah, definitely. We're in the process of, we've already spoken to a couple attorneys, and hopefully one of them will want to take it. I think it really helps that the legislature authorized the hiring of retired attorneys, so we might be able to lure one of them out from retirement. In the meantime, we'll probably detail and have the grant pay for one attorney from here until we can find someone more full-time.
Yeah, it's just that I didn't think that the public defender was just going to be a middleman if we're going to contract this out to the private bar. That was not at least my intention. This is a pilot program, although it's 6 months, and the lawyer that may be interested, maybe for a short period of time. But if successful, we wanted this to be long-term and it to be a regular program. The public defender that we can hopefully then lead to other opportunities in reference to expanding the scope of services with the public defender.
Yes, Sharon, I totally agree with you. And so they're really only going to handle conflicts and anything short. So our main attorney will handle 40, and we anticipate them handling no more than 10 cases a month, just till we get rid of the backlog.
And if there are no lawyers that are interested for that period of time, what do you plan on doing?
I guess we'll have to try. I mean, we've received interest from like Guam Legal Service Corporation, so we're hoping that at the very least they'll submit a request to be a part of it. And I know Mr. Summerfleck has appeared in the past, so we're fairly hopeful that he's going to want to accept.
All right. Any questions? Kathleen, do you have any comments you want to add in reference to the program and getting it established?
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Your Honor, what I wanted to add to Edie Hattori is that we sent a letter out to the Guam Bar for our conflicts. That's what so it would be something similar to what we are we're also looking into working with Guam Legal Services. So a generic letter went out, they're list serving it, so that if we have any conflicts in the office, that we're able to send it out to interested bar members in the private bar. So I think that was what Edie Hattori was trying to explain to the board earlier on.
All right, thank you, Kathleen. Kathleen?
Thank you, Your Honor. No, I apologize. I thought you were referencing me, so the wrong county.
I was.
Oh, you were. Okay. So I just wanted to add that we are elated about the services being started. We are looking forward to the kickoff meeting the kickoff meeting, Your Honor, will really provide us additional details with regards to finalizing the financial eligibility. We are looking forward to looking at the waitlist files. That really is going to determine how quickly we're able to open up. Like Mr. Hattori mentioned, we are anticipating and we're hopeful we'll be able to start by February 1st. But we do need to look at the wait list and come up with a system with the Division of Senior Citizens that is acceptable to them so we can move forward.
All right. Any questions regarding the program from any of the trustees? Okay, so we will then move to the next item on the agenda, which is the fiscal exigent program planning. And do I, Kathy, are you going to report, or is Mr. or Steve Hattori?
Both myself and our chief fiscal officer will provide a report. So what we tried to do is, lacking any information on GovGuam's projection for FY 2021, we know that while we're short with our allotment, we know that we are being realistic about GovGuam's financial landscape. So what we did on the administrative side is plan for what will happen in FY 2021 absent a visitor industry that provides injection of money into GovGuam. So we came up with the fiscal exigent program plan, and this is just a planning process so that we're prepared for what we can anticipate into the third quarter of FY 2021 and into FY 2022. We want to be ahead of the curve so that when, should it happen that GovGuam finances are bleak, we're prepared and we're thinking in advance so that if they, and I was sharing with our CFO that although we were allotted less for our FY 2021, we were allotted in FY 2018 our full budget, but we were still short $500,000 when they cut across GovGuam. So although we may have an allotment that was approved by the legislature, the reality is what are they going to give us at the end of FY 2021? So we put that fiscal exigent program plan together, and you would see on page 20, if you go to page 20, we give various scenarios. 20, if you, JT, if we went to 2020, where we didn't get what we were fully requested in our FY 2021 budget. So based on what we requested in FY 2021, we were short by 265. That's scenario 1, right? And that's based on our full complement of team members. If we kept our full complement of the number of team members we have at PD, we'd still be short with 265,000. So I know that part of the budget bill for FY 2021 allowed us to use lapsed funds from FY 2020 that should have gone to judiciary, but is now allowed for PD as well as APD to use if they are short for FY 2021. But even at that, we'll still be off by 265. There's not enough in the lapsed funds from what is reserved from FY 2020.
No, on scenario number 1, if we use the lapsed funds, we will
still be short by 260.
No, we will go by. We will be able to survive. But on scenario 2, that's where
go ahead.
That's where all the, even though if we use the lapsed funds from fiscal year 2020 from APD, we will still be short by about 200,000. And scenario number 3 is if we only receive 90% of the appropriated funds, then we may have to go into, we will have to reduce our operations by about 30%. On top of that, we may have to reduce the work week of each employee to 36 hours.
So, Your Honor, what we're suggesting right now is, I know that we've had a few vacancies in our office, and we're suggesting right now as a management team to hold off on hiring, hold off on other expenditures that are not necessary for us to get by with COVID. And we really want to see what the rest of Guam is doing. We understand that there are some other government departments and agencies that are implementing a hiring freeze. And so we just want to be prepared should changes happen in Guam's financial landscape.
Yeah, I mean, the judiciary has frozen its vacancy, and the public defender should do likewise. I don't think that we should be spending money at a regular rate as if though there's not going to be a financial crunch. And so we definitely should not be hiring if there is no funds that we can expect to supplement the current budget. So right now, if scenario one materializes from the way I read it and what Mr. Moreno explains, is there's at the current staffing level and operational cost, without adding additional expenditures, there's a shortfall of 265,035, and the and that is going to be made up from the APD lapses, and so if that is the scenario, then there is no need to have a reduced work week. Is what how I'm reading this. Is that correct, Mr. Moreno?
Yes, sir.
All right, and so I think at this point, there is no information I have that the rate of the allotment releases is going to be different. The level of allotment releases is going to be different from what was projected. And so I think today we can assume that that is the case. And so the plan should be for us to operate under scenario one, and scenario two with a 10% cut. This will result in a 600,000 shortfall and a reduction, 434,000. That's with a 5%
Yes.
reduction in the revenue. And this will result in a 434,760 shortfall. And both the lapses of PD and APD will not be sufficient to make up for this shortfall.
That is correct.
Okay, so if that is the representation,
But so the Chief Justice, we do have a separate reserve fund, but we can't tap that until we use up the FY 2020 appropriation amount.
yeah, I understand that.
Okay, all right.
But if the FY 2020 appropriation is not sufficient and the lapses from APD that's authorized to be expended to fund the operation of the public defender, because APD, Annie, is fully funded for FY 2021. Is that correct?
Yes. On a side note, this. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We were fully funded for 2021.
Okay. Mr. Moreno, what were you going to say?
Yes, the scenarios that I've created is only for PDSC. The reason I did not include APD's scenarios is because as I research into the historical data, even though the appropriations for APD is reduced by 10%, the historical data indicates that they will be able to survive without any additional lapse funds.
Annie, do you want to respond or any comment?
No, he's correct, Your Honor. The reason why is because we're actually pretty frugal with our money, and because we have the board over, looking at everything. But I still would like to have, this is the first time I'm seeing all these scenarios, Your Honor. So I would like the opportunity to review everything as well as respond to that historical viewpoint from Mr. Moreno. But he is correct. We normally have extra in our budget. But again, that's because we actually try to be frugal.
All right, does anyone have any questions or comments regarding this plan in terms of if there is actually a shortfall that doesn't cover operation going into the second, third, and fourth quarter?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I have just two questions.
Yes, please. Okay.
I'm sorry. The first question, Mike, how many vacancies does public defender have now?
He's
So what do we have in terms of we're short? Three. We have 3 vacancies.
Okay, and what are those vacancies at this point?
We have 1 attorney, 1 investigator, and one secretary.
You know, because I share the concerns of the chairman on not hiring vacancies at this point, since we're anticipating possible cuts in the budget. And so I follow his concern about not hiring, freezing all vacancies until we find out where we are physically. And secondly, can we transfer funds from APD to PD? Is that authorized by law?
Yeah. Yeah, the Budget Act allows the lapses from APD utilized.
Matt, if you
Wait,
don't mind.
can I just answer that question? So the budget law allows only FY 20 lapse funds to be used by both agencies, but there were separate appropriations for PDSC and a separate one for APD.
Correct.
So I don't think there was authority to transfer between the two.
Well, I guess it's how you interpret the question. I understood the question is, can you use the lapses from APD for the operational costs of the PD in the current fiscal year? And I thought that the Budget Act authorized that.
only 2020.
It should be only 2020. It should only be 2020. Their FY 2021, because it was an appropriation to APD, it would stay with APD. So we cannot take APD's FY 2021 and reappropriate it to public defender. Only I think the legislature and the governor can do that.
No, but are we talking lapses or are you talking appropriations for the general fund?
So FY 2020 lapses that would have gone to judiciary, that was available to us as well as APD, whoever is short in FY 2021.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
What differently are we saying?
Nothing. We weren't saying anything different.
Yeah. So PJ, does that answer your question? They can use the lapses from APD for FY 2020 for the operational shortfalls of PD and APD in 2021 fiscal year.
Thank you very much. That helps a lot.
Your Honor, I could send you the actual page so you can look at the what the actual law says. If you would like, I can send this to Judge Lamarena, PJ Lamarena.
So what were the lapses for FY 2020? What's the amount for FY
299.
What was that?
299,000 plus.
299,000 PJ was lapses of APD in fiscal year 2020.
So Vanny, if you can send that to me, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll email that to your clerk, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So right now, based on current information, if the PD was to freeze filling any vacancy, then we would be planning for scenario 1, and that is there's the expectation that the current level of appropriation will be disbursed in due course over the fiscal year, and that will not be reduced. I have not received any information that there's going to be any reduction from the appropriated sum for FY 2021, at least as it applies to the judiciary. And so, assuming that's the case across the board, then the way that the PD should be planning is under scenario one. And then
Right.
after the going into the second quarter, should there be further information to update the expectation, then we can start examining the other scenarios. But I don't want to see is us filling positions and then just penalizing, either having to lay them off or um, increasing the furlough hours because of the additional expenditures that have been assumed, not knowing if there's going to be the revenues to cover the additional expenditure. Any comment, Steve or
Oh
Kathy?
no, so Your Honor, that's basically our plan, and we understand, APD will probably generate about 200,000 in lapse funds this year. So, and we have no intention of trying to use their lapse funds. What we're saying is that once the appropriation is exhausted, we might have to ask the board to use our reserve funds to pay for any shortage. But we won't be, we'll impose a hiring freeze immediately.
All right. Any questions, comments? All right, there being none, then we will go back to the agenda, and we then will go, we've completed our regular business agenda items, and now we will recess our regular business and reconvene in executive session to complete the discussion on the APD's salary review increments that Mr. Morrison has provided a memo and to assist the board. So at this time, I would ask our IT person, Mr. JP, if he could then place the trustees in the in our separate room so we can reconvene in executive session. And Annie wanted to also be in on the discussion, so we will allow you to come in as well as Mr. Morrison and Kathy. And I have no objection, Steve, if you also wish to be part of the discussion.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go into a breakout room.
Yes, please put us in a breakout room for executive session.
I gotta go cover Sokola. Hopefully it won't take that long. All right, see you guys.
Okay, we should be back in regular session. Your Honor, you're muted.
Thank you for those famous words, JT. All right, I just would like for the PJ to return for the vote. Okay. So now we are reconvened back in regular session, having discussed the performance evaluation and increment of our managing attorney, Attorney Gale. And now at this time, I will entertain a motion, and maybe to assist the board, I'd just like to state the motion for the record. And the motion is to approve the salary increment for the managing attorney, Attorney Anna Maria Gale, for the period from March 27, 2019 to September 27, 2020 as an Attorney 5, Step 9. And that would be effective for the pay period beginning September 27, 2020. And so is there a motion to approve the salary increment as stated?
I'll go ahead and move, Your Honor.
I think the PJ was muted, so PJ.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so it's been moved by Attorney Ekubi, and the motion has been seconded. I will call for the vote. All those in favor of approving the salary increment as stated, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed?
I abstained, Your Honor.
Okay, and there's one abstention. So it's 3 in favor and 1 abstention. The motion is adopted and the increment is approved. Any further business before the board? There being none at this time, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. January 22nd.
Second.
All right, there's been a motion to adjourn until January 26, 2021. It's been seconded, and before we vote, I'd just like to wish everyone, first of all, congratulate Attorney Gale and commend her for all the work that she's done for the APD. And I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and please enjoy your Christmas and the holidays with your family and friends, and be safe as we enter the new year. And thank you, everyone. And I would allow everyone else to express their greeting.
I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas as well.
Merry Christmas.
Likewise, Merry Christmas,
Okay.
everyone, to Your Honor's Director and PDSC and APD. Thank you.
And thank you, Attorney Ekubi, for staying on to the meeting. I know you had a conflicting schedule, but I appreciate you staying on to move on, to vote on the motion. So with that, there being no objection,
You're welcome.
this meeting is adjourned, and I thank you all for participating. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna's not happy.
Oh, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her. I'm just the principal. Come on, man. I have nothing against Annie. I love Annie.
Smile, Donna.
I'm not. No, it's not. Honestly, I really have so much question.